welcome to Yoga 77. My name is Jackie. You might like to bring a blanket or something soft to pop under your knees when we come into tabletop. You might like to use a couple of blocks if you have blocks. If not, that's okay. So we're going to start in a tabletop position with a blanket under the knees or not, whatever suits you today, and just start to take some little movements through your hips. Might take it into circles, maybe side to side through the tailbone, the sacrum, the hips. Might start to come out a little further over your wrists or out to the sides. And really just exploring, being curious how your body is feeling through the wrists, the fingers, the shoulders. You might even start to bend a little bit through the elbows, take some little movements through the shoulders. You might start to take your head gaze over one shoulder and then the other, and feel free to take the hips in the opposite direction. And just really moving with any movement that comes organically to you. Can be as creative as you like in your tabletop shape. And just think of it as noticing what there is to notice in your spine today. You might start to check in with the lower spine, around the hips. Might notice more the mid-spine, the thoracic spine where your ribs are attached. Maybe through the upper spine, around the shoulders, moving up through the neck. Take a few more rounds like this in your own time. Beautiful. And then we'll come into a kneeling position. You're welcome to tuck your toes under. If toe tuck doesn't work for you today, just come up on the tops of your feet. Feel free to roll out through your wrists. Again, just notice the range of motion, movement through the wrists, the fingers. And just really exploring with different movements. You might invite a little bit more movement through your elbows, your shoulders. A little bit creative here. You might come out wider, you might come up higher. Come down lower. Scrunch your fingers up, reach them out. Might bring it into a shake or almost flicking out, even finger flicks, shaking it out. You might like to bring in that idea of shaking out what doesn't serve you right now, so that you are clearing the way, creating a little bit more space to be a little bit more present for the rest of your practice today. Shaking away what doesn't serve you. And then we'll just come into stillness, just a moment to just notice any energy tingling through the body, through the hands, the fingers, the arms. Nice, and then come back into your tabletop. Just tap out the tops of your feet. Again, idea of just getting rid of anything that doesn't serve, releasing that energy, or maybe bringing a little bit more energy into your body. Nice, and then just come back into your neutral tabletop. Bring the right arm a little bit closer under your midline. Spread the fingers wide. You might come up onto those left fingertips. Just check that positioning, check it's supportive. And then we're going to inhale the left arm up. Eye gaze can come up if that works for you. And then on your exhale, threading under the body, palm facing up. And again, reaching up on your inhale. And then on your exhale, threading under. We're going to keep with this movement, maybe another 3 to 5 rounds with your breath. So you're very welcome to move faster, slower. And then when you next come into your thread the needle, we're going to stay in this shape, just allowing the cheek, side, head to come down. And then the front hand, you might be on the palm of the hand. The arm can even be relaxed if you've got enough sensation. Otherwise, just bringing the elbow up. You're welcome to come up onto the fingertips to bring a little bit more lift, a little bit more activation through this top shoulder, and almost like you're drawing the shoulder away from your ear. We'll just stay in this shape. If you'd like to work with a little variation today, you're more than welcome to extend out through your right leg, just drawing the sole of the foot down towards the ground. And if that just doesn't feel stable, just keeping the original shape that you were in. And just see if you can reconnect to your breath in this shape. And you might even invite your breath to come into your mid-back where the ribs are, through the thoracic spine. And you might even feel the expansion through your rib cage as you inhale and a slight contraction as you exhale. See if you can just smooth through the face. Just check the neck is soft. Any little adjustments through the head just to correct any tightness. Always welcome. You might close your eyes down and we'll just stay for another 3 to 5 full breath rounds. Maybe it's your next exhale that you just bring the leg out. If you extended it, come out of your bind. Once you come back into your tabletop, again, any little movements here. So you might just take the hips side to side, some circles, or maybe some cat-cows. So if you're coming through some cat-cows, just allowing the belly to soften down. Then starting to dome through the spine. And again, really just exploring this movement in your spine. Nothing fancy, just notice and give yourself permission to listen to your body. And it might be stillness that you want right now. It might not be movement. And then take your time to set up on the second side. We'll bring that left hand again a little closer into the midline. Spread the fingers wide. Again, just check the balance. Check it's in the right position. And then again, it'll be your inhale, lifting up through the right arm. Might take your gaze up to the top hand. And then on your exhale, threading under your body. And then again, feel free to move with your breath. As you exhale, drawing under, noticing that rotation. Again, an inhale to reach up. And exhale to bring the arm under, reach the hand through. Just take a few more rounds so that you feel somewhat even, complete on both sides. You're welcome to come into your hold whenever you feel ready, once you've created enough space. And then again, just bring in the shoulder, the arm down, Just playing with that top hand, again either on the palm or up on the fingertips. Elbow can be pointing up. And again, option again to leave the left leg where it is, or pick up the left leg, reach it out, grounding down with the sole of the left foot in that direction. The foot doesn't have to be completely down, but you're working it towards that shape. And just check in with your head and your neck. Check there's no sort of kinks through the neck, so the head feels comfortable. And so that idea of keeping length through the neck, through the spine. And then again, you might bring your focus back to your breath, breathing in to the thoracic spine, that mid-spine, around your rib cage. Again, to see if you can feel that expansion through the rib cage as the lungs expand. And then the contraction as you exhale. Again, just staying for another 3 to 5 breath rounds. Again, no hurry at all. It might be your next exhale. Bring that leg back in if you chose to extend, and then just slowly come out of your bind. And again, just take any free movement here, maybe those cat-cows, a few rounds or side to side. And then once you feel ready, we're just going to bring the knees a little wider. Big toes might be touching. Draw the hips back into your child's pose. So you might be on your forearms. Just let the head be heavy. You might have space to bring the belly, the chest down, extend the arms out long. And again, we'll just stay here for another 3 to 5 breath rounds. It might be your next inhale. Draw forward to tabletop. And from here, might bring the knees a little closer in. We're going to have a go lowering down onto the belly. And so you might come to this place and just make your own way down to your belly, or just see how far you can come down with control. Beautiful. Just check the hands are under your shoulders. Might push down with the tops of the feet, so the knees might come off your blanket or off your mat, and then roll the shoulders back, lifting up through the chest. Eye gaze stays straight down, and then on your exhale, lowering back down. And just try a few more like this. So it's an inhale as you rise up, and an exhale as you lower. So see if you can bring the activation into the shoulders, into the upper back. Try to keep your neck soft, and then see if you can connect to your breath. So coming up on the inhale, lowering down as you exhale. You don't have to come super high. Think more about lengthening from the crown of your head all the way down the spine, down to the toes. And try and keep your neck long and soft so the eye gaze stays straight down. Now you're very welcome to hold in your baby cobra or lower down, take a little pause. If you're coming into a hold, you can stay on the palms of your hands. You might prefer to come up onto the fingertips, be a little lighter through the hands. You might take the hands off, or maybe reach fingers back towards your heels. And so if you're choosing this option, or wherever you've chosen to be, just keep the eye gaze down. I think more about lifting length through the crown of the head down to the toes, rather than having to lift super high. Find a shape where you can still connect to your breath. Couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready to come down, hands come back under the shoulders. Just lower it down, bring the hands under your cheek. Make a little pillow with the backs of your hands. Maybe just take the hips, just rocking side to side. And you're very welcome to bring your feet up towards the ceiling. Again, just take this little rock side to side. Almost like you are just releasing through your lower spine. Just creating a little bit more space. And then you might take crisscrosses with the feet, the legs. And maybe some circles through the feet. Circling one way, then the other, go with any pops and clicks. Might flex the feet, point the toes. Might spread your toes. Just notice how much you can take your toes apart, away from each other. Once you feel complete, again, just let the legs come down. We'll bring hands back under the shoulders. Draw yourself up towards tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under, lift the hips into downward facing dog and bend through the knees generously. So the belly is coming towards the thighs, heels can be off your mat. And then just start to draw one heel at a time down towards your mat. Starting to pedal out through your downward facing dog. Creating a little bit more length through the side body by even taking the hips a little bit more side to side. Let's take a few more rounds like this, just walking out your dog. And then when you feel ready, we're going to take little steps, walk to the top of your mat. Come into your forward fold. Feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little closer. Again, a bend through the knees. Allow the belly to work down towards your thighs. If you don't come down as far, just bring your forearms between the belly and your thighs. And wherever you are, allow the head just to be heavy. Take some little nods, yes and no through the head. Might take your body, sway side to side through the upper body. And then see if you can bend a little bit more through one leg, work the other one towards straight, just to create a little bit more side to side or rocking motion. Just check the head, check the shoulders, the neck haven't tensed up again. If you've got a little bit more space, you might bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. And then once you feel ready, coming into stillness. If you're holding the elbows, just let the hands go. Ground down evenly with both feet. We're going to roll all the way back up to standing, almost like you're stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Rolling up, you might bring your arms up and overhead. Maybe the eye gaze comes up, maybe a little baby back bend. Allow the palms to meet and hands through heart center. Inhaling, arms up and overhead. On your exhale, come back into your forward fold. Bending through the knees, belly towards thighs. Plant the hands and step your left leg back. So you're taking the foot back. Now if your blanket is still there, you might be able to bring the blanket under your knee. So we're coming into a low lunge. Nice, and this is where the blocks can be really nice, or anything else you have that would just help you to find a little bit more balance and support through the low lunge. And so you can come up onto the fingertips on the blocks. And if you want to come off the blocks or you're not using blocks, you might bring the hands onto your front leg. And in this shape, see if you can draw the front foot back, the back leg forward. So you're almost drawing into your center. And then it's a sense of lifting up through the front body, finding space through the lower spine, shoulders down and back. And then you're very welcome to keep the fingers or the hands on your blocks or on your leg. Or you might play with bringing the arms up and overhead. You're very welcome to have a go bringing the eye gaze upwards. And if you're bringing the arms up, almost a sense of drawing the shoulders down and back, opening through the chest. And we'll just stay for a couple more breath rounds. Beautiful. If the hands are up, just bringing them down either onto your leg or onto the blocks. And we'll frame the front foot. Beautiful. Push off that back leg so you're activating, almost pushing out through the sole of the back foot. And we're going to step to the top of the mat, come back into your forward fold. Again, you might take some movement side to side. You might nod through the head. Nice, and again, we'll roll all the way back up. Again, it might be on your inhale, bringing arms up and overhead. And palms to heart center. Again, with your breath, bringing arms up and overhead. Maybe it's your inhale. And exhale, come into your forward fold. Again, we're going to plant the hands. This time we'll take the right leg back, coming down on the back knee. Again, coming into your low lunge. So again, option is to use the blocks for a little bit of support, a little bit of balance. Also quite nice to give you a little bit more lift up through the spine using the blocks. Nice, you're welcome to bring hands onto the leg or hands up and overhead, just whatever you are choosing to work on today. Again, you might bring your eye gaze upwards. Just notice if you're a little wobbly. If you are, again, just that little reminder of activating, drawing in through your midline. So front foot drawing back, back leg drawing forward, and then that lift up through the lower spine. Couple more breath rounds. And then we'll exhale, float the hands back down. Again, we're going to push out through the sole of the back foot. Just notice that activation through the tummy, through the core, and then stepping to the top of your mat. Come into your forward fold. Sink the hips down and back, coming into your chair pose. So you're very welcome to reach out through the arms, or you might prefer hands at heart center. So wherever you are, think about a little tucking under the tailbone, lengthening through the spine, shoulders draw a bit down and back, and see if you can take the weight into the heels of your feet. You might even wriggle out through your toes. Staying for a few more breath rounds here. And then on your next exhale, come back into your forward fold. Heavy head, heavy shoulders. Inhaling, rolling all the way back up. Then you might bring arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Go well. Namaste.